The IPS controller is a digital aspect of controlling how much chemicals are put into the pool. So there's two types of chemicals. There's chlorine, and the second one is your acid. The chlorine is to ensure that it's eating the bacteria away from whatever's inside the water, and your acid is balancing the pH levels from ensuring that it's not going too acidic or too much of a base. So you want to be in between a certain amount. So when I was showing you on the auto, that's what is the normal setting for the IPS controller. So that means that it's in function, and it's ensuring that the pH levels are at a certain level and your ORP is at a certain level, which is your chlorine. When I showed the menu options, it shows you the settings. So there's the pH setting, there's how much dosage and for how long, and then in addition to that, it shows you the high limit level. So if it reaches 8.0 for your pH, that's your high limit level, and 7.0 is your low level. That means that there will be an alarm, and it will tell you that you need to either raise it or lower your pH levels. When done, bring it back to auto by pushing the button on what I have shown you, pushing the button back to auto. The ozone generator, what that does is that actually adds ozone into the water. There's a green tube that runs along all the way up into the pipe and is inserted into the flow of the water. What that does is that the ozone, it causes a chemical chain reaction with the chlorine. It actually bonds with the chlorine. And what that does is that it ensures that the chlorine stays in the water a lot longer than if it did not have the ozone generating system. Before starting the backwash, you want to ensure that you turn the red valves to the closed position on the acid and onto the chlorine. The reason for that is that once you start that backwash, what it's going to do is it's going to pull the chemicals from the pump room and into the sand wash, and it's going to expel outside the building. So to ensure that we're not using up or wasting chlorine and acid, we want to make sure we shut those valves. addition to the IPS controllers, that has a digital format, but you also want to ensure that we are testing the water on a 4-hour basis. So at least 4 times a day minimum. You have to at least test the water 4 times a day. And what we're testing for is we're testing for a few things. We're testing for your pH levels and also for your chlorine. Now, as shown, this agent here, CR-001, the DPD reagent number 1, you put 5 drops of this guy into the chlorine side. Then after that, you add the CR-0002 DBT reagent number 2, 5 drops of that into the chlorine solution. Once that's done, you move on to the pH indicator, which is your CR-004, and you drop 5 drops of that in there. After that is done, that is when you take the unit, turn it upside down, making sure you have the lid on, test it, put it up against a white surface, and measure where pH and where the chlorine is sitting. The optimal level is anywhere between 3 to 5 parts per million for your chlorine, and for your pH you want it somewhere between 7.4 to 7.8. The IPS controllers, what they do is they control, as I mentioned before, they control the acid and the chlorine. Now the IPS controllers, there's 3 of them. There's one for the cold, there's one for the warm or the temperate, and then there's one for the hot tub. These blue pumps add the chlorine, which is in the black container here. And over on the other side of the chemical room is your acid. So there's the 3 yellow pumps that will pump acid into the pool. Same thing as before, there's one for the cold, one for the warm or the temperate, and then one for the hot. These wall sockets here are tied into the IPS controller. So when the IPS controller is asking for chlorine, that's when electricity will be added to this outlet, and then that will activate the pump. As you can see, the hot right now is asking for chlorine. So it's pumping through, and it's pumped through from the container up in down into this here, so that takes you right into the pump room itself. There's been times when you've changed out the barrel, or there was some pressure issues with the pump itself. So what happens is that sometimes these pumps will need to be primed. Now, as I mentioned, the IPS controller controls the electricity to the pump. So how do you prime the pump? Well, you have to have another electrical source to do so. So let's take, for example, we'll take the hot tub, take that off, add it onto there, plug it into the source, and then let it flow. Once you see the chemical coming up into the tube, up and over, starts filling this tube here, and you'll see it starting to pour in. Once you see the pump all primed and it's starting to pour into here, that's when you can stop. You can unplug, plug it back in. Do not forget to plug that back in, and then you can put the electrical source away.